Hi, it's John here from Speedy Brick, and I'm loving building these Formula One cars from Speed Champions. I've got the first 6 built, and they really look great. I'm loving building these things. And 7th in the World Championship last year was Haas, so they get to be the 7th build. It's set 77250. It's 242 pieces, which is actually the least number of pieces out of all of the 10 sets. So I'm a bit worried about the decorations as well after the last car that we built, the Alpine, which didn't have a lot of decorations on it at all. So let's see how we go with this one. We're going to open up the box and have a look and see what's inside. But just before we do that, I just wanted to get a kind of a handle on whether these cars were accurate to the size of the Formula One car, kind of whether they to scale. And what surprised me is that in the height, they are actually pretty good. So we're only probably one plate too high at the top of the car, and the halo is a bit too high, but I think we can fix that. The halo is also a bit too far forward, so we can probably fix that as well. That probably needs to go back one plate or one stud back. So the car is just a little bit too high, and the kind of the tooth that's sitting by the back wing is also too high. But so they're the kind of the two areas which are a little bit too high. And the rest of the proportions of the car are really, really good on the side view. But if we look at the top view, we can see that the car is actually too wide. So on both sides of the car, it's probably just this kind of one plate too wide. So maybe we can fix that. I don't know. But that's something kind of for the future. And the back wing is a bit too wide as well. It's not too bad. The front wing's pretty good. The wheels are in the right positions. And the halo, as I said, is probably a bit too far forward. So it probably needs to go back one stud. And then the rest of the proportions on the Haas car, this central channel or central part in the top of the car, that's actually pretty good. It's not, the base of the car is maybe wrong, but the top of the car is actually pretty accurate to the width of the car. It's probably just a bit too wide all the way through, but it's pretty good. So now that we've looked at that, let's open up the box and see what's inside. Okay, so the box, it looks pretty much the same as all the others, which is fine. I do like this image here though. It looks pretty good for the Haas. It's a little bit different from the real car, but we'll come back to that, right? So let's open up the box and see what's inside. So it's all very black. This time there's a few white pieces there and a few blue ones and red ones, but let's open up the bags and see if there's anything new inside. We've got looks like 29 stickers, but there's some duplicates there, I think, as well in numbers, but I'll count all of them and have a look. Don't forget to scan your QR code for your insider points. And here we've got, it's 135.5 grams versus 798 kilograms, including the driver, excluding fuel. And including the driver, and I guess there's no fuel in the Lego car, so that's fair enough. We can see already here, this line coming through here is really sharply down, and here we've got, yeah, that's not really matching, is it? But some of the other shapes look quite good. So let's open up the bags and see if there's anything new inside, and have a look and see what printed pieces there are. So just before we get started, let's have a look at the new parts and the printed elements. So I did a quick check, and there's actually 31 stickers, and there's 16 printed elements, including these 4 these four and kind of all this stuff and the minifig prints. So that is a total of 49. It's not as bad as the Alpine or the Aston Martin, but it's still on the bottom of the list sort of thing. These are actually different. So we've got 2 left and 2 right, which is quite interesting. I think this is a new piece. I've not seen a 1x3 Technic brick before, but I guess someone will tell me if that's new or not. It's new to me. I've never seen it before. Really like these pieces that are printed on all 3 sides. They're really good. Again, we've got a very boring minifig, but this guy's got a great hairdo, and he's got 2 faces, but the hairdo doesn't cover the other face. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but we'll put the helmet on him anyway and not worry about it. There's some duplicate pieces here, and we've got some 1x1 curved pieces here and around, which is printed on one side, which is quite good. We've got a little Haas logo there as well. We've got some extra nice pieces here. These new pieces are coming thick and fast in the Speed Champion set. So we've got another 2 left and 2 right. We've got our suspension unit, and we've got our rear wing. So that's all good. Let's get building. Bags 1 and 2 complete. We're up to step 29. It's quite a nice, simple little build so far. And we've got a few snot techniques being used, and looks like it's going to be a bit more, a little bit different from the previous builds. We've got 3 stickers used and 3 printed elements used so far, but it's all very early stages. So let's get on with bags 3 and 4. So that's bags 3 and 4 complete, and we're up to step 57. And we've applied quite a few stickers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 stickers so far. We've added a couple more printed elements with these ones. So we've used 6 printed elements already. So far it's actually quite a nice build. While this is all the same, having the red there really gives it a nice pop. So that's quite good. This is a little bit different, but not that much different. And this is quite nice structure. We've got quite a nice line through here. The same 1x6 piece is used 3 times here. Here, this one's printed on 3 sides, and here we've got stickers on 2 sides for those 2. But yeah, it's a little bit different from some of the other builds, but it's quite nice. It's nice and thin through here, so that's good. So let's get on with the rest of the build. So that's the build complete. There was 106 steps, so the same number as the Red Bull, and which was the most out of all of the cars so far. So that's good. One of the steps was putting the hubcaps on the right way. So you've got a left and a right, which is really quite good. And I do like this whole look of the car. It does look very clean. And this back section here is really nice. It's very sleek. And as we saw in the comparison against the real car, this is actually quite accurate. This needs to go back a little bit, and this is a little bit wide, but this bit here is quite accurate. And the whole car looks great. This red really pops here at the front, and I quite like it. It's very simple, but there's quite a bit of complexity involved as well in kind of these sides. There's Technic pieces in there as well. So there's a bit of complexity in there. There's some different use of parts, which is really nice. It's good to see the kind of variety between all these sets. But so I really like this one. But what do you guys think? And let's have a quick look at this one compared to the others. So comparing it to the Alpine first, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One, this only had 46 decorations, and this has got 49, so slightly more. But these pieces are basically the same in the same position, and these pieces are the same in the same position, but the structure is different. So that's also quite interesting to see that you've got variety in how you put something together. I'm not sure if all the pieces were required, but that doesn't matter. We've got another variant for this piece here. So that's interesting in itself, that we've got multiple variances here. I think this is really quite nice, the way that these panel pieces are kind of covering up this area and giving it a nice look. We've got this is lower and sleeker than this one, and I think this is actually better the way it's curved down. So I'm not sure if the Alpine really is like this or not, so we're going to have to do a bit of a look-see and see how that compares to the real car. But this one I think is actually better than the Alpine, so I'm going to rate this above the Alpine in looks and in building complexity and so forth. So next up, I'm comparing it against the McLaren. And the McLaren is always kind of down on my list because of this back end, but the rest of the build is actually pretty good. But I don't like this gap in here, even though I do like the structure. And here we don't have any gaps other than this little gap here where you see through there. And the other thing here, which I really like, is this line, which is brick built in these two elements and joining it with these stickers. And then you've got this black print element here to kind of help create that brick built look. And I think that looks actually really good. So I'm rating this high because of this brick built element. I really think that's nice. And I think this back end is really good. So I'm going to rate it above the McLaren, which is still at the bottom of the rating. Sorry, McLaren. So how does it compare to the next one, the next guinea pig on the list, which is the Aston Martin? And previously I'd rated Aston Martin as number 4 on the list. And we've got a similar structure here. This is two pieces. It's a 1x2 slope and a 1x4 tile here, creating that look. So I think this is kind of sleeker through here, and this is kind of all uninterrupted. But I do like this better, this kind of structure going through here. I think this is too bulky in this piece. This should be sloping more downwards as per the real car. So that's kind of a point away from that and a point towards the Aston. But this has got this amazing brick built line. We've got this brick built line here too. And we've got airflow going underneath here. So I think perhaps we're going to have the Haas just underneath the Aston Martin at this stage. And the third car in my current rating system, I'll go through and make a video about all the ratings for all these cars later. But comparing these two together, I still think the Mercedes looks better. And part of that is all these amazing print elements here. I think this is probably more proportionally correct. So this is going to have to be lowered at some point in the modification process. But this looks actually pretty good. And I like this. So this is a bit more complex, and it had some really good brick built stuff going on there. So I'm still sticking with this. So currently we've got this at number 3 and the Haas at number 5. So Ferrari is currently in second position, and there's lots to be said about the Ferrari. The Ferrari is a great looking car. We've got the same use of these pieces here that helps keep the car a bit more sleek. These pieces are the same, and effectively they're kind of in the same position. But we don't have any airflow under either of these cars, and we've got this combination of kind of brick-built elements and this brick-built line. We've got a bit of a gap here, which kind of lets down the Ferrari a little bit, but I still think the Ferrari over the Haas. So I'm going to leave this in 5th and this in 2nd at the moment. And comparing to the Red Bull, oh my goodness, the Red Bull still looks awesome. This is too high though. So you can see here with the Haas, this is much lower, and you can really see this is too high. So we're going to have to do something about that. But overall looks and this airflow through the side of the car there really looks great, and which we don't have with the Haas. And the other thing with the Haas is it's not sloping back enough, this piece. It's too pronounced. It should be much shallower slope there. So that's kind of a bit unfortunate. Even though we use some of the same pieces, using it in this configuration gives us a bit more of a slope. So I'm staying with number 1, number 5. So that is the Haas, and I really think this is quite nice. There's quite a bit of variation between all these cars, which is really cool, and I quite like this car. What do you guys think? How would you rate it? I've got it at number 5 at the moment, but I look forward to hearing your comments, and until next time, bye. Please click to subscribe for more videos, and watch my build and review videos by clicking here. Thank you.